Hi everybody. I hope your spring break was as good as it could be, seeing as we all have to basically stay indoors or stay on our block, right? I spent mine, sorry, Valentina's upstairs making a heck of a lot of noise right now. We walked around the block every single day, we ate a lot, and we basically just kind of existed, and I'm guessing that's what many of you did as well. I would love to hear from any of you. You can find me on Google Chats really easily, or send me an email, even if it's just a check-in to say hi, or tell me what you've been up to or what you miss, or if you have an idea for a question of the day. I'd love to hear that. It looks like we're going to be doing this for at least another couple of weeks, and so my questions might get a little lame, and I'd love to hear what you guys would want to talk about on those. Those of you who are commenting, I love to read your comments. I think they're funny, and I feel like we're actually in class making comments while we're all just kind of sitting around for the first couple minutes of class. If you haven't been someone who's replying to each other's questions, give it a try. No one's judging you, and frankly, I think everyone wants to hear from everybody in our classes. So I just want to give you a quick overview of what we're doing this week. We have been writing that narrative forever, and I think it's time to be done with it. And so I know some of you are like, yay, I don't have to see it again. And many of you are like, oh, I want to write on that forever. Well, I'm doing kind of a mix of that. Each day this week I have a lesson, a short lesson of ways for you to revise your writing. Revising your writing is actually a big standard for 7th grade. And even though I don't get to see each of you every day, I still want to make sure that that's something that you're able to do in 8th grade. So there will be usually a video that I find online, and then a little bit of revising that I ask you to do on your own narrative. Once you do that, I'm going to ask you to highlight the part that you have revised that you want me to grade. And then on Friday, I'm going to ask you to submit that narrative finally on Google Classroom. But for example, last week I asked you to revise a portion of it to add mood, and you were supposed to add some words that conveyed a sort of mood of your story, and I asked you to highlight that in green. If that was confusing, I just want to explain that a moment. You took a part of your writing and you learned about mood and tone, and then you had to go in and fix a part of your story. And you can fix more than one part. In fact, you can fix the whole thing if you have time and if you're willing to do that. And then the part that you're most proud of that you revised for mood, I need you to highlight in green. It might just be a few sentences, and that's okay. But when I'm using a rubric to grade your writing in the upcoming weeks, I'm going to be looking for the green part to grade you on mood. So if you revised maybe 3 portions of your paper for mood, but you're really proud of one, highlight just that one in green. And the same goes for tomorrow's lesson. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about dialogue. I found a short little video on how to punctuate dialogue. Remember, dialogue is when characters are talking in a story. After you revise some dialogue in your story, or add dialogue if you don't have any right now, I'm going to ask you to highlight that in yellow. That way when I grade that, I can look at your essay and, well, I will read the whole thing. The part that I'm grading is in yellow, because you have told me I've revised this part. I want to show you that I know how to punctuate dialogue, and then I can grade that yellow portion. And so each day this week, there's going to be a little bit of your paper that you need to dig in, and you need to fix it, and you need to revise it. And it's not going to take you a long time. Remember, each of these lessons should take you 20, 30 minutes tops. If you find that you're spending hours on your English homework, you need to send me an email, and we need to figure out what's going on. I can give you a call at your house if you want to, or we can just Google chat. But you should be spending 20 to 30 minutes on this, and really no more than that. Something else that I'm going to be asking you for is, it is the end of the month. I don't know if you're like me, but like I'm wearing the same clothes and I don't even know what day of the week it is. And so just a heads up, tomorrow is March 30th. We have one more day after that in March, and I need you to have 4 Achieve articles done. I went into Achieve this afternoon and looked to see your scores, and more than half of you have only completed 2 of 4 articles this month. I know you have time right now. You need to get them done. You need to go into your Achieve, and you need to make sure that you have Bright and Early or Not. That was the one about starting school later. Don't Miss the Arepas. That was about those little hand sandwiches from, I think, Venezuela. Then you got to choose an article. And then on last Friday, you had to make sure you finished the hip hop cheese one about the cheese and listening to music. A lot of you didn't finish that. It seemed like a lot of you went on spring break on Thursday and you didn't do any of the Friday work. Remember that if you miss my work for 2 days in a row, I have to contact your parents. And if you miss 3 days in a row, I have to contact Mrs. Cook, who then contacts your parents, who then talks to you. So instead, make sure that you have those 4 articles done, because Tuesday, I'm going to ask you to report those 4 scores to me. Don't lie about it. Go into your Achieve, figure out your scores, copy them down to the Google Doc. So that's going to be on Tuesday. Because of that, I'm not giving you another Achieve article for the month. You've already done 4 if you followed my directions. If you have not done those 4, you need to go back in and make sure that those are done. Again, if you have any questions, please just shoot me an email or send me a Google chat and we will figure out what's going on your Achieve. Let me see. Let me look at there's anything else I wanted to talk to you about. We will be working in your interactive notebook on Wednesday and Thursday. So if you don't have glue or scissors, you need to talk to me about that. Again, send me some sort of message. Although I think when we last saw you at school, you all took home glue and scissors, so you should be okay. But please make sure that you have those things. Again, I wish that this was as fun as I think class normally is, but we have to make adjustments for being at home. I think that's all that I can really think about right now. Again, just make sure that you're filling out that attendance question every day. Make sure that you are doing the work. I can see it all on my end, and if you're not doing it, I do have to take some action, which is kind of a bummer. But hopefully this will be all over soon. Hopefully we all get to see each other. But until then, I hope that you are getting fresh air every single day. I hope that you are reading, because we're going to start kind of a book report next week. And I hope that you are having a good time. Oh, one more thing. I actually am going to be assigning you some diary entries. And I know some of you are like, what, diary? Well, I don't know if you're like me, but you've probably had a lot of thoughts in the past couple weeks of what's going on. Like, what is happening probably, at least hopefully, will not happen again in our lifetime. And you will be telling your children and your grandchildren about the year that school was canceled and you had to stay in your homes. Like, it's hardly even believable. So what have you been doing? What do you miss? What are your thoughts about how will this work? Like, will we all just be able to come out of our houses one day and nobody will get sick? We don't know. You know, what is this looking like for your family? Is it a lot of fun? Is it stressful? What do you miss the most? What do you like about it? You know, something I like is that I get a chance to watch Valentina. Like, she's all of a sudden learning a lot of words. I probably would have missed that if I was at school every day. So, you know, what are the positives in your life each day? Are you getting outside? Are you reading a ton of books? Are you organizing? I've decided to read all the old magazines that I've had sitting around my house. I don't know if you've done anything the same. Maybe you're trying to fix something that, you know, you've kind of eyed for a while but never really had time for. I don't know, all those thoughts. But your diary entries are just going to be between you and me. They're not going to be public. And really the reason I'm having you do this is that in a couple of years, you're going to look back on this and not realize all the things that you were thinking about and doing during this wacky time in our lives. So I hope that you're all safe and well and making the most of this time at home. Talk to you soon.